welcome back to the Guy Dawson Show on WCOBM. My name is Sheryl Greenblatt, and I am your host for today while Guy is in Universal Studios with his son enjoying summer vacation. So I am joined right now by Laura Hess and Philip Cohen, good friends of mine, who are coaches. I know the term is not life coach, so what's the correct term?
Professional coach.
Professional coach, okay.
Yes.
And they're very interesting because they're a husband and wife team. So how does that work in the household with two coaches?
We are a coach-free zone at home.
Probably
no
a good
coaching
idea.
each other. Right. We stay married that way.
Yes. Yeah, I can imagine that would be really bad. Do the dogs get in on the coaching?
They're allowed to coach us.
Okay.
That's as far as it goes.
They kind of control things.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
So, tell us, what is the professional coach? What is that all about?
Hit it.
You know, there's been a lot of misunderstanding of what coaching is really all about. And very succinctly, coaching is about working with a client to help them to find customized solutions to whatever their questions are.
Okay.
So coaching is not like consulting where somebody comes in and tells you what to do, which is a good thing because nobody likes being told what to do.
Very true.
And it's not therapy. It's about having a conversation, but having it with someone who is independent and who's willing to actually challenge the thinking, the beliefs, and the actions of the clients. So one of the things I say to my clients is, my job is not to make you feel comfortable in a coaching session. In fact, my job is to make you feel uncomfortable,
Right.
because that's where change takes place.
Absolutely. When you
So-
step out of that comfort zone.
Yeah.
And if our clients aren't ready to fire us a couple of times a year, then we're probably doing something wrong.
I like that.
Yeah. The challenging is a very big part of what we do.
Right.
Getting clients to think differently and to examine assumptions that they're making based on often erroneous information.
Interesting.
But one of the keys, though, is coaching is all about getting results. So, you know, a lot of people think, well, I'm going to talk to my coach and have a nice conversation.
Right.
And
Ain't
no,
gonna happen.
it's the conversation that leads to appropriate action
Right.
that leads to the results the client really wants.
Okay.
So that's it.
Now, we have a very strong business audience. So you do a lot of work with business people?
Yes. That's the primary people that I work with are business owners,
Okay.
decision makers, senior executives. So all those people who are in that decision-making capacity. And for me, that's the place where it has the biggest impact in the business.
Right.
Yeah.
I like that. So, if somebody were to hire a coach, what would they be looking for?
Oh, that's a big question. And one of the things that we tell people, first of all, is they need to ask the right questions and make sure that they're hiring somebody who's actually qualified to deliver the service.
Okay.
We published a book for consumers on coaching. It's called Beware the Counterfeit Coach.
Okay.
And the idea is to educate somebody who's serious about hiring a coach so that they understand what they're hiring
Right.
and what to look for, the questions to ask and what to avoid, and then what they can expect in the process. And one of the big things for us is training. There are organizations out there that you can go for a weekend and get certified as a coach.
Scary.
To us,
Scary,
it's scary. You know, as soon as somebody, I'm going to say something that's going to make some people unhappy. As soon as somebody says, I'm a life coach,
Right.
the little hairs on the back of my neck go up. Because the first thing I want to know is, where did you get your training?
Right.
And what qualifications do you have to call yourself that? I don't care if they call themselves a life coach, as long as they've got the training and they know what they're doing to deliver the service.
You know,
So-
part of the problem is that coaching over the past 15, 20 years has been one of the fastest growing professions that there is.
Right.
And so schools have popped up everywhere, and we'll make you a coach, and we'll do this, and we'll do that. And a lot of people have believed, well, I'm good at talking to people, so I can be a coach.
Right.
Well, you know, the interesting thing is that we as coaches use the same skill sets that everybody uses all day long.
Right.
But the difference is how we use them. And so if you're looking for a coach, you got to ask questions about their background. Who is it that they like working with? How do they go about working? You know, some people have a very formulaic kind of an approach.
Okay.
But what that means is, so let's say you want to coach today, I'll tell you what we're going to coach on, as opposed to you coming in and being able to control the direction of the conversation.
Right.
So,
In my early days of coaching, I used to come to every coaching call with an outline and prepared to talk about specific things and just knowing where the call was going to go.
Right
And
out the window.
it just never happens that way because the
Absolutely.
client always has something else going on.
Right.
Always. And the client is in charge of the agenda. So no more preparation. We just kind of show up and see where the client takes us.
and I think one of the big things for coaching is that a coach has to be willing to challenge the client,
Right.
to probe deeply to find out what really is going on. Because the fact of the matter is that when people come with a challenge, with something that is not working for them, if you're not willing to address what's holding them back, what's getting in the way, then you're going to find a solution possibly, but very surface.
Okay. And that actually answers one of my other questions, because when you said you used to come prepared and now you just let them kind of control the conversation, I would see the only negative aspect of that would be the person that wants to keep complaining about the same thing and never actually working on it and never making any progress or never scratching to the actual problem. Excuse me, how do you deal with that?
We ask them a question that gets them thinking differently.
Okay.
We had an example of, actually it was during a workshop, we were actually teaching people how to be coaches.
Okay.
But we had one of the participants was playing client, and she was going on and on about her life, and there was some abuse going on, and she just kept saying, and I do this and I do that, and I said, great, so how long are you willing to keep doing that?
Right.
And I mean, it was a simple question, and at the time, not the most powerful question necessarily that I could have asked, but what it served to do was it pulled her back and said, oh, I think I'm done with that.
Right.
And it moved her off the mark and got her getting the help that she needed so she
Right.
could change her life. And that's all it takes sometimes.
And I think it's amazing how sometimes it is just that one question that
Yep.
can completely change how you're
Yep.
thinking.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great. We're going to be going to commercial in a little bit. Can you tell us how would people get your book if they are serious about finding a life coach and they want to do the safe thing and learn about it and get that background? How do they get that information from you?
Amazon. It's easy. It's a digital book. And we priced it so that it's affordable to anybody who wants it. It's only $2.99. We're not in it for the money. We didn't do it for the money. We did it because for us, the most important thing for the consumer is that when they hire a coach, whether it's us or anybody else, that they know what they're getting and they know the questions to ask so they get somebody who's qualified.
Yes.
So it's Beware the Counterfeit Coach, and it's on Amazon, and it's got our names on it.
Excellent. And I have to say, I did work with a life coach at one point, and I did not do my research. And honestly, it was kind of like a high-pressure sale. And I went in and I ended up spending quite a bit of money on that. And we didn't talk about my goals beforehand, and we didn't even scratch the surface of what I needed to work on. And it wasn't goal-oriented, nothing like that. So I can
Perfect example.
see exactly. I can see the importance of finding that professional,
Right.
B, finding out what their background is. Who are you to be telling me what to do?
Well, and Philip and I have been coaching now since '94, so
Right.
we've been in the business longer than almost anybody else who's working as a coach. So experience-wise, I think we top just about everybody.
Well, but we were founding members of the International Coach Federation, which is the largest association for professional coaches.
Excellent.
We were both on the board of directors. We both have taught at schools. I continue to teach at 2 of the coach training schools. So what that does is it gives us a perspective of not only what was coaching 20 years ago, but how is it evolving? What's the new technologies that are available?
And I want to talk about that more, but we have to
Okay.
run to a commercial break. So we'll be right back with Laura and Philip. Thank you.